So, dear Natalie, you are one of the most spiritual person I have ever met in my life. Your Reiki Level 1 course found me, and I followed the guidance and ended up at your beautiful place, Brio in Nicaragua. With my first step into your space, I felt that there was something different. Your presence and your energy was there right away. After spending the weekend with you, I was proof that you really walk the talk. You impressed me in many different ways as a teacher, as a healer, and for sure as a strong, wonderful woman. Authentic, you walk your way, and you really definitely have a special way of life. I have to mention that this way led you all the way from South Africa to Nicaragua. So here we are, sitting together at your beautiful home, and it's an honor for me that you share some of your precious time with me and give me and my listeners some beautiful insight into the work you do. But now, I finally want to say, welcome here to the JforJoy podcast, Nathalie Namaste.
Oh, thank you so much. What a beautiful introduction. I feel so blessed to be here and to be able to share. And may many tools and insights and light and wisdom flow through me and be shared with everyone.
So beautiful. Yeah. I have already mentioned in the intro that you are a Reiki teacher, so I had my Reiki Level 1 course with you. I'm so honored to have it. But let's start a little bit before. Let's go back to life when you were coming to this beautiful place, Earth, and when you were a little girl. Take us back to this. How was the Natalie at this time?
Oh, wow.
Deep dive.
I love that. Well, there's so much, because my mom told me that when I was like really little that I would be talking in my own little language to all the beings that are around us. And I know that now to be the angels. Mm-hmm. And I had this very strong memory when I was about 5 or 6 years old. Mm-hmm. I was in the back of the car and I was looking out the window at all the things, schools, trees, buildings, people. And I had this thought, if there's not all of this, what is there? And it was amazing. I had this like surge of energy and light come through me. And I felt like everything went dark and light at the same time. Like it felt like light and energy and love, and it's quite hard to describe in words because it was a real strong feeling. And I feel like that feeling has been something that's driven me my whole life, to search for beyond this dimension. And also when I was younger, I remembered later on in life that I used to have a reoccurring dream, and I don't remember the reoccurring dream itself. Mm-hmm. But I would go to another place, and I know that every time I went to this other place in my dreams, it was continued. So I'm living two lives, and in dream time, I was going to this other dimension, this other place, and continued. So it's as if, like,
you're like two worlds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the most beautiful and profound thing that I remember is that as I would wake up, I would be going through a swirling vortex of bright white light. And I would come out of the white light, and as I would get to the end of the tunnel of the white light, I would go, and I'd wake up. And that's the way I would wake up from this dream.
That's crazy. And how old were you there? I mean, we are now talking about the little Natalie. Yeah. I mean, that was so long ago. And how did you deal with it as a little girl? Were your parents open to things like this, to angels, to things we cannot see with our eyes? Or maybe you see it, I don't know.
I mean, I do see it with my eyes. I sense, I hear, and I channel. So I'm very sensory. And my parents, my mom was very open. She actually, like, we would pray together, or I would be able to talk to her about the angels and about the energies, and my dad was kind of like intrigued because it's something different, and I feel like I was supported, and I believe that we choose our parents before. I believe we choose everything from a soul level before we come into the body, and so I believe that I especially chose my parents because they gave me the space to explore all these gifts.
The container, which is so important. We will get to that in this podcast, because I think this is the most important thing, to have this container to like see these gifts, but also to like develop them, because I think there is this point where you have to develop these superpowers, otherwise we lose them. That's what I think, or what I experienced. But it's so important what you said. You had this moment, and I know it was very early, you were talking about in the Reiki Level 1 course, I think 5 or 6 years you were questioning if everything we see is not all, what is then? So this is this very profound questions a lot of people ask themselves in a later life, like when they get older. Sometimes in midlife crisis, sometimes before, but I think a lot of people get to this point. But how was it to get there with 5 or 6? I mean, it's so early. Could you share this question with your parents or with someone?
Well, you know what, it was so natural for me.
Okay.
So the feeling that happened, that overcame me in that moment where I asked that question, I felt so at home. I felt like this is normal. I felt like this is more normal than this
everything you can touch.
Physical reality. And so I felt comforted and I felt safe, and I don't actually remember if I shared that with my parents. I don't know if I did. I mean, I just know that I spent a lot of my childhood with the angels, talking to them. Like sometimes I would say, drop 3 leaves in this pot and I'm going to put it under the tree, and that will show me that like I'm on the right path, or things like that. I would constantly be talking to them about.
You were playing with it.
Yeah.
Ah, nice. Yeah, because this is so impressive for me, because I mean, when I think back to my childhood, there were these phases in my life where I was thinking I see something, or I hear something, or there is something around, but if I was spelling this to other people, it was like, there is no one. So there is no one. So I learned that it's only in my head. So you start suppressing it, and you start like, not seeing it anymore because you don't want to see it. So I think this is so impressive about you, is that you found, can I say self-confidence in yourself, like that what you feel or what you sense in this moment is true.
But I have to say as well that I had a moment in my life where it was too much, and I started like I would just see a person, and I'd get lots of information about them, and then I'd want to go and say, oh, I can see this is happening for you, and you can do this to heal, and all of this.
As a child?
This was more strong at more teenage years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in my teenage years, like my gift got more intense and stronger, and with that, I got a bit shy. I was like, well, I've got all this information about people. I want to share it with them, but then sometimes people aren't ready to hear it. And there was one moment where I got information. Well, I'll share it with you. It's my sister, who I'm very, very close to, and she was with a partner, and I just got this message that they're not going to be together forever. And in her mind, it was like, oh, this is the man I'm going to marry. And so, but the message came through, and I felt drawn to sharing it. And she's my sister, so I told her. And then she was heartbroken, of course. And that really broke my heart. I was like, well, if I can see into the future and then it ends up hurting people, then I don't want to see it. and I managed to then like close it down, to shut it down, and like just let it go for a while. And there was a few years where it just became less. It never disappears.
Okay.
And that's something good for everyone to know, that every single one of us is intuitive. We all have a soul. We are a soul, which means we're intuitive, which means that we can sense, see, feel, experience beyond this dimension. We can have access to information beyond it. And the biggest thing is to trust it, have faith in it, and it will develop. And if it is developing very fast, we can also calm it down and slow it down, and it will flow at the rate of speed of our vibration, what we are ready for. Yeah.
That's, you take one question up front, but that's so important. I think that because that was something I was interested in. Do we all have these gifts? Because when I'm talking with people sometimes about, I did Reiki or energy healing, a lot of person don't have the access to it. So they think it's just something you invent or something. But when you feel it, I got my assessment with you after the Reiki course. We will go to that later. And I experienced it. It was not just that I heard about it, so I could experience what happened in that moment, and it's nothing you can describe. It's something you have really to try and to figure out. And my question was, are we all gifted with these intuitions? And what do we do to shut them down? Like, what happens in the world that not a lot of people has access to it anymore in these days?
Oh, that's such a good question. So, yes, definitely, we all have access to it. And what happens is that we start to doubt ourselves, and we start to judge ourselves, and we become self-critical. And as we criticize or judge ourselves, we create blockages. And then, of course, things that happen in our upbringing, like traumas, experiences, emotions that get trapped in our energy field, in our body and in our energy, and like old belief patterns that are outdated. All of these things can cause us to become imbalanced. So we go out of balance. And when we're out of balance, it means that the amount of energy and light that comes in from the universe, it comes in from the crown and it goes down the central channel, so through the body, and it feeds energy and light through loads of meridians, like little channels throughout our whole being. And when we've got these lower frequency things that kind of get stuck or trapped, then the energy that comes through, it goes around them and it starts to move like this, and meandering like a river. So instead of that like full strong force of energy, which is the light of our soul, which is our intuition, it kind of moves around the blockages, the stuck energy, the misbeliefs and all of that, and then we kind of lose touch with ourselves. So we actually lose touch with our soul, and we relate more to our emotions. We become like the victim of our situation, or we become the thoughts that we are. And when that starts to happen, when we relate ourselves more to a certain thought or an experience or an emotion, we detach from our truth, which is our soul, which is that divine inner knowing, which is there within us.
Yeah, it is there. Yeah. This is something which really touches me, because I think sometimes we are so far apart from ourselves or the real person we are. And what is very interesting is that you already had that as a kid, and you could develop it through your life, because at the end, this is the thing which is important, that we can have this self-confidence, I would say, about this gift, and take them with us through our lives, and don't lose ourselves in belief systems or people who say that you are not right, or that you should go that way or that way. I think this is the most difficult things in our time, just to be yourself and to be your authentic self. And the beautiful thing I heard is, when we get birth to this earth, we all are perfect. And when we go, we all are perfect. So what is happening in between is very interesting to see, and which sometimes hurts me so much, because there a lot of time people make this life they have here so hard for them. So they struggle and suffer like all the time. And I think this happens also because we go far apart from the thing we really are.
Exactly. Because we all have a soul purpose. We come here with this plan to have an adventure and an experience, and to really experience something. And so our soul purpose is something that we do, and things that we do that provides us with an experience, a vibration, an emotion, a state of being. And then what happens is we get knocked along the way, and we forget that. We forget our purpose. And if we don't feel like we have a purpose for being here, then we feel lost, and we feel alone, and we feel separate. So it's so important for all of us to have this realization that we are beautiful beings. We are souls. We are light. We are love, and we come from this infinite source, and we go back to this infinite source, and we have this life, this blessing to experience. And it is us that can stand in our own way, which means we have the power to heal and release, so that we no longer stand in the way, so that we can live our soul purpose.
That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing this. And when we go back to this little girl and the woman you are now, and I can imagine, like, there are systems in life we all go through. I mean, there is the school system, there might be work coming. How was it possible for you to keep that blessing and that superpower you have experienced in your childhood already, and keep this superpower and going through all the systems who normally tell you like how you should be to fit in a certain kind of life?
Yeah, it's such a good question.
Yeah.
Because I did try to fit in, and so I will share a bit about my journey, because then that
would
explains.
Be beautiful.
Yeah. So, when I was a teenager, like the strong surge of energy and light would come. Like, even talking about it, I get goosebumps. So,
I have it next to you as well. It's strong. It would be nice when they could sense the things, not just hear it.
Yeah, and really people do.
Yeah.
And so you'll feel it from this energy. It's strong. So it's so strong that this electric energy that flows through started coming through, and I knew, and my hands get so hot and sweaty like they are now, like I can feel it pulsing. So then I knew, this light, this heals people. I just knew it inside. So I would start to like look at people and like just send it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. and
still playing.
Yeah,
still beautiful.
Playing. So true. And it's so playful to be. Spiritual energy is so playful. So then I remember I got a job. I was working in a coffee shop, and a lot happened while I was working there. My boss, she was amazing. She was a spiritual lady. She believed in me. So then I'm being supported again.
Beautiful.
So, but then at school it was a time where, as a teenager, you're trying to find yourself. Who am I? How do I fit into this world? I want to be independent. I want to be cool. All of that. So that kind of, I had like two worlds. I had this world where I could see the angels. I would look up at the stars. I channeled messages. I felt deeply connected to what is beyond this world. And then at school, I had this peer pressure to be cool and to fit in. And so what I did was I made sure that I did well at school. I just studied, and I could learn things like just read it, absorb it, and then
put it on the paper.
And then forget it.
I always say purge it on the paper. Yeah, because it's kind of like this.
Yeah. So that's what I did. So I did really well at school because of that. I don't remember anything. I only remember things that I love, like like things about the body and energy science and all of that. So school kind of did dampen my spirit. And it dampened my spirit to such a point where I went into school one day and I said, no, I'm not going to spend one more day here.
Wow.
And I went home and I said to my mom, please, I can't. It's not working for me. I need to express myself, and I feel like closed in. And my parents, once again, supporting me, and they let me go to a college.
Okay.
So I could finish my school, which is the same like school, but you could wear your own clothes, so you could really express yourself in that way. It was much smaller classes, and the teachers were more open-minded as well. So it felt like a much more open-minded place. It's so funny. The very first day that I was in class, a guy sitting in front of me, he turned around and he looked at me and he said, have you read the book Celestine Prophecy? And it's by James Redfield.
Yeah, I love it. Everybody who didn't read that book, do it. It's like, there is also an audio version. The audio version is amazing because they make the sound. So if they're talking about like sitting in the coffee, you hear the guys with the forks on the. It's amazing. You have to rehear it in audio. It's amazing.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So guys, read that book. It's amazing. Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, it's a book that inspired me.
And it just turned around. He didn't know you. Okay.
Didn't know me. I was new at the school, at this college, and so he said, this book always knows where to go next, and he gave me the book, and I think the book starts with like, if you're reading this, then you're like ready to. This is your time. Something like that.
Yeah.
And as I was reading this book, it started happening. I started seeing auras, colors, energy, like a light show around people. I would see people walking. I'm like, whoa, what is all that color around them? Like golden light, a lot of gold.
Yeah. What is good? Gold is not a bad color.
I mean, all the colors are good. It's like they all just mean something different.
Yeah.
And then I didn't really know what it all meant, but I just knew like, wow, something amazing is happening.
Yeah.
So then that developed, and then my psychic ability developed even stronger at that time, and then I realized, you know what, I've got a gift and I've got to start helping people. I know I'm on earth to help people. And so at the age of 18, I found my teacher, and I feel like that's so important. We are our own teachers, but it's nice to have the support of other teachers.
Mentors. That's what we always say. It's so important to have a mentor or a person who is there where you want to be.
Yes.
Just to not even hold your hand, but just to guide you. Because there is a reason why our people, they are older and they did the path already. And the reason is that they can make it so much easier for you.
Exactly.
So how did you find it? That's the big question everybody want to know now.
Well, with this teacher, how did I find the teacher?
Yeah, or how did he find you?
Yeah, true. Wow. Well, that I don't remember. I was going through a breakup. So I was 18 years old. My first breakup. I had been in a relationship for 3 years. So it was my first love. And so I was heartbroken, and I knew I'm trying to
know this situations.
It's like
awful.
Some of the hardest pain to go through.
Yeah.
So I can't remember how I found this teacher, but I was living in South Africa. She was a beautiful South African healer with a lot of energy, and just the moment I probably read up about her, and then I was like, this is my teacher. I knew. And I went and I trained in holistic healing. And as part of getting the certification, she brought in one of her clients. So then the students needed to work on her client, and the lady had got gangrene from one of her legs down, and so she'd had it amputated. So I was working on her feet. So one hand, both in the aura, in the energy field. And while I was working on the feet or in the energy, I got a message about why she had got this and what she needed to do to make sure that her other leg didn't go gangrene. And it was loud and clear. It was like, she needs to stand up for herself. Her relationship is so unhealthy. Like, she's losing all her power every day. And this is her time to shine. And so I told my teacher, I said, look, the strong message came through, I got to tell you. And the teacher then sat with me and the client, and I gave the message to her. And after that, my teacher was like, you're gifted, I'm taking you under my wing, and I'm going to keep training you. So I was very, very blessed that she could see. And actually, because she did that for me, I am doing that for so many others as well. As a teacher, many people I see, especially in Nicaragua, that don't have the budget or the finances to support them. I just want to abundantly offer it and support them on their journey, because I feel like Reiki, universal energy and healing and light, needs to be shared.
It's so, so beautiful, and we also saw it in our class. We also had like one girl who was able to join, even she didn't have the financial possibilities, and for me it was beautiful to see, and it's a beautiful gift. And it's so interesting that with energy work, that works. Because I realized also in coaching, sometimes it's very difficult that when you give something for free, then the energy like the people put in is not the same.
True.
So I'm very. Did you experience things like this as well? Because I also hear a lot of coaching like colleagues who's telling me exactly the same, and I don't know how or why it is like this.
It's so interesting. It's true. There needs to be an energy exchange.
There needs to be.
Yeah, because otherwise people
Reiki,
aren't
right?
a part of... that's Reiki.
Yeah.
Otherwise people aren't a part of their healing. They kind of like, oh, well, it's up to the healer. Or they put a little bit of effort, but not their full energy in. I've done it before where I do like group meditations and like online workshops. And I've offered one of my online group meditations, I offered a few people as a gift, and everyone who paid arrived and was there, and everyone I gifted that they didn't arrive. So it's interesting,
right?
Yeah. So there's something about that, an energy exchange. And so with that, with supporting Nicaraguans, I offer them if they want to make some food for our group.
Beautiful. Yeah, it was beautiful, and the food was delicious, and even more beautiful to see that you honored your space with your teacher who take you under your wings. So how many years you were under her wings then?
I was with her probably for, I can't remember exactly, but probably for a year, 2 years. I mean, it could have been 3.
Beautiful.
But when I stopped working with her, I found so many other teachers. Learning and spiritual growth, when you start to feel it, it's so exciting, you want more and more. So I just dedicated, my life is a dedication to it.
Yeah.
That's still a student.
Yeah, we all are. If a teacher is telling you that he knows all, go and run, because that's not true. It cannot be true. Life is our teacher, and till the last day, I think we all learn. And if we stop learning, we start living, I think. It's so important to stay open and to be like this sponge who take all the things in. It's just something so, so important. And that brings me to the next question we have. Like now we are sitting here in your beautiful home in Nicaragua. You're a girl from South Africa. Your husband is from England. Like how the hell did you end up here?
I love that. That's so true. Wow. I mean, I'll give you the shortened version.
Yeah. I don't know how much time we have time. No, please.
So when I was 23, I felt, I had studied marketing, and I felt like my time in South Africa had completed. Some people are actually meant to live away their adult life away from their birthplace.
Okay.
It's actually even... it'll be in the astrology reading, in the natal chart, so it's like written in the stars. And some people really need to return or continue being in the place, the land, the earth where they were born, because there's a vibration, there's an energy, there's learning there. For me, no, I'm meant to be here in Nicaragua, and I never knew where the place was. I just felt a calling and a moving. I needed to move. So I went to England, and I went to Thailand, and I worked on super yachts for 6 years.
Okay.
Traveling, so living on the ocean.
So beautiful. Nice energy.
Yeah.
But also intense energy.
Oh, so intense.
Yes.
But amazing growth.
Yeah.
Like huge growth. And so all the time, still having a feeling inside like I haven't found home. And like feeling at home wherever I am with inside myself, like I had a lot of peace inside of me, but I mean like the outer world home. And so that kept me moving until until I met my husband in well, we were friends for 4 years before we got together. And I mean, that's a whole nother story of how we got together. It's pretty incredible. But when we got together, I also just knew. Basically, he dove into the pool, cracked his head open, broke his back, and he had to do all of that to get my attention.
Okay. I'm glad he did, because you're an amazing couple, really. Oh. So if he had to go this way, I think it was just how it meant to be.
Yeah, I mean, he had just been had prayers done for him by some lamas, some monks, Tibetan monks, and they had actually said that they were doing prayers because they read the energy of like there could be a possible death. Like he could die. So they did these prayers, and I feel like this accident was like the opening and releasing of the old part of his life and opened him up to this new adventure, and that involved me.
Wow.
So I was there channeling Reiki, the universal energy, healing him, and I get this message: this is your soulmate.
Oh wow.
You're going to be married. Whether he's in a wheelchair or whatever, you're going to be together. And then I just knew, and I told him, I'm like, and he's like in pain, he's trying to like...
And you want to hug him and like...
we want to be together. Yeah, it was incredible.
You told him right away?
Well, not straight away, like the next day.
It was like
I had
kind
to
of
warm up to it.
Yeah, it was like overwhelming.
Yeah, it was even quite like such a strong message for me, but I knew it. I just knew. I was like, he'll when he's feeling better, he'll know too. And he did know, and maybe he actually even knew before me, because he had always felt something for me, and it was so special because I feel like our love and the Reiki and all of that, he healed so fast. He was told by this, we were in Spain when this happened, he was told by the doctors that he was fine, like there wasn't any broken bones or anything. So he knew he was in pain, so he just spent time being quiet and healing and resting. And then when he went back to England and he had another scan, they were like, you've broken your back in 3 places and all these things. And he's like, and they're like, but it's incredible how you've healed. Like love and light heals. So he fully healed. And then...
Can you tell us, can you say that again? Love and light heals. I mean, that's so true.
Yeah.
That's something so beautiful, because we all forget that so much.
It's true. Yeah.
In this world, we can have like a pill for everything.
Yeah.
But there is no pill to be loved and to be surrounded by people who love you, which is, I think, and I believe in, the most biggest powers on earth.
Yeah, it really is.
Wow.
Yeah, it's incredible, and just to have compassion for someone else that might be in pain, just by stopping and listening to someone and showing them compassion and love helps them to heal so much faster. Like I had one client, and we worked online together, and she had been in chronic pain in her back for 8 months. We had one session through time and space, so distance healing, one session. And just by holding space and channeling the light and the love, she healed instantly and messaged me that the next day saying, I have no pain and I feel myself again. So that is the power of love and light, of Reiki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there is so much pain in this world which is not coming from an injury. Yeah. We have been injured so much by the stress of our daily life, by the pressure we have in our daily life, by like the expectations everybody else has on us. So this is like really causing a lot of problems. I work a lot with women's and women's cycle and like these topics, the hormonal topic, and it's so much influenced by these topics, and we don't know, we don't believe that this is like, the women's cycle is something so beautiful and something so powerful, and by suppressing that we can cause so many illnesses.
Yes.
And it's so beautiful, like you say, because that's what I always say, you need to love your femininity, you need to love your cycle, and then you will no longer have pain within your cycle. It's just because you want to push it away. And since the day we are very young, everybody tells you to hide it.
Yes.
So if you have your menstruation, you hide it, you do whatever you can, but nobody out there should see it.
Yeah.
When we grow older, we have the topic like, oh, you have your menstruation, when we act a little bit stronger, I would say, or we say what we want. So I always say, it's just the love and the compassion for yourself as well.
Yes.
But we don't learn that. So it's such a beautiful topic you're talking about, and it's so important.
And also, like, on that note, it's like with your cycle, it's all the things that you bottle inside during that month. For women, we are so blessed. We have a cycle. We can then release it. It's our absolute blessing from the universe to be able to release. So we should rejoice it and appreciate it, because it's such a powerful healing.
It is beautiful. So you had Adam. Let's jump back. You had Adam then, and you were still on the way finding your home.
Yes. So now Adam and I are together, and then the real adventure could begin, because he was also like, I'm going to leave my job. In his job for 9 years. It was a family business, so like that's a big thing to be able to do.
Can I jump in there? Were they also Reiki healers, right? So it was.
Yes, but the family business was quite down to earth.
The gecko. They're so beautiful.
The gecko's like, I agree.
I agree, yes. It was like, okay. So beautiful.
So his parents are Reiki healers as well. And so they understood when he was like, well, it's my time. I got to leave the family business and I got to follow my dreams.
Wow.
So they were like, go for it. And off we went. We drove around Europe to like see and feel if Europe was the right place for us. But we didn't feel it like we love it. It's a wonderful place like to visit, but it didn't feel like the earth was pulling us in. So then we went to Florida. We bought a van and we converted it.
Beautiful.
And we traveled all the way through the
Van
States.
life.
Oh, van life is the best. It's like so free.
So nice.
And then we went into Mexico and down Central America, and we had committed to work at a to volunteer at a retreat place in Costa Rica, and so we kind of had to move to keep moving.
You had like an end destination or date.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we could have stayed in Mexico for the whole year.
You loved it?
I recommend to anyone. Mexico is magical.
So nice.
Yeah.
I haven't been yet.
Oh, you've got to go. It's amazing.
Beautiful.
And so we traveled through Mexico, and then we kind of kept moving along, and we got to Nicaragua, and I got sick, and so I had to move out of the van. And while I was not feeling so well, Adam went with a real estate agent to look at some land, and this guy was like, oh, you've got to see this hotel. And Adam was like, no, we would just want to buy land. And he's like, well, I'm just going to show you.
It's like Nicaragua. I didn't hear what you say. Let's go there.
Yeah. And then
it was Brio?
It's Brio.
Nice.
Yeah. And
beautiful
it's so
place.
beautiful. It's such an incredible space.
Yeah.
So, and then from there we've been here 5 years. Living in Nicaragua.
So you never went down to Costa Rica then?
We then went on holiday.
Okay. So nice.
Yeah.
So beautiful. And I can tell everybody this place has an energy. It's just incredible. I really felt it when we stepped in, that this is like something special. And I'm really looking forward what all will happen there, because I'm sure there will be a lot more or different in a few years. I mean, then Corona, like the pandemic, was there already when you came here?
No. We had
like 5 years ago, of course.
Yeah, so it did. It caused changes.
Of course.
So we closed the hotel, and we're renovating it now, and we're just going to see where the path takes us. We don't have a set plan with it. And what it did was it pushed me into online, and so we had like, the pandemic kind of came here to Nicaragua. People had a bit of fear, so we stayed inside. And with that, I just got a message from my guides: Natalie, rest now. Go lie in a hammock, read a book. You've got 1 week, and then we're getting you back. Because just before it hit, I was so busy. I'm a yoga teacher, Reiki healer, master, and intuitive guide, and so I was here, there, everywhere, helping many people. So busy. So it kind of was like, whew, slow down, rest. And I took that week, and I remember in the morning messaging my sister-in-law, Anna, who's such a beautiful, inspiring...
Yeah, she is. I love her. Yeah, she has such an amazing energy. I was very happy to meet her at this birthday party. It was so amazing.
She is, she's also great. A coach and just a light on earth, and channels amazing meditations. And so because she's such a special part of my life, it makes me want to cry with tears. She's so special to me. Yeah, so I messaged her in that moment saying, I'm not ready to go online yet. I'm just going to relax. And then that afternoon, boom, it happened. The energy started coming through me, and I made a post. I am ready. I am now doing distant healing sessions online. I'm available to you, world. Connect with me. And it just started happening. People started messaging me, and I just... And so much energy and light coming through now. Can you feel that?
Yeah, I can. It's like buzzing.
Woo, the whole frequency of the room.
Nice.
Yeah, and now I'm just so beautifully busy helping thousands of people now. It's been almost 3 years that I've been working online with people, and I just feel like ripples of light filling the world.
And I'm so happy to jump in there with you, because normally I think the pandemic, we all talked a lot about it, but I think also that there were people who really took this time to do a change for themselves, for their lives, and to go out of a comfort zone sometimes, like you, and putting your business into online and seeing what is possible there. And this is sometimes something I feel a little bit with spirituality, that we do not want to think big. I don't know if I say it right or correctly, or we don't want to think in numbers and like things like this, but I think it's so important to say that money is energy.
Yes.
With online businesses, we have the possibility to reach out to more people, and then we can choose where we can make the effort with this money to help even more people. And I feel a lot that I see a lot of spiritual people or healers, they are just thinking so small, like it's also good and it's also fine if this is fine for them, but I think the world needs every single healer on this earth right now, because there are so many big changes coming. I feel, I don't know how or what is coming, but I feel it. There will be a lot of changes in the coming years, and we need every light on this earth, I think. So it's so beautiful that how you say, like how this bad thing which happened, you used wisely and good for yourself.
Totally.
So amazing.
And like with that, you know, for everybody who is wanting to maybe start to grow their business online and develop, to trust and believe in yourself, and to know that that money is energy and you deserve it, and let it flow abundantly, and let it come to you. You know, the people who are the one person business, like just doing their own little thing in this world, deserve to be seen and found and supported. You know, instead of funneling the money always towards the big companies, there are so many people that are coming out of their shell being like, well, I have a gift and I've got something to share, and so let's all support the people that are growing and blossoming, because that actually is what's happening. That's what's happening in this world. Like these big machines that have just got billions, like they are slowly being changed and giving space for people to stand up in their power and go, I am here and I'm ready to show up as me. Yeah.
That's so beautiful, and this is what I feel, and I think this year is here to bring it all together, because in the past it was like a lot of time like very egocentric, so everybody was looking for their business, their coaching, their mentoring, their healing thing. But now I feel all these people come together and it's more like, let's do this together, let's think a little bit more in tribes again, connect, helping each other, look how we can have an even bigger influence on the people and support this beautiful earth, which really needs our help right now. But I also say the world was here all the time, so she will be there. And if she wants, we are way like this.
Exactly.
I mean, the power the earth has, we cannot imagine. So there is one ice time, there is one big storm, and we are all away, and she's still there. I believe in this. But it's more beautiful when we can come together and be partnered with her and don't fight against it.
Yeah, and support the earth, and the earth supports you.
Yeah, very, very beautiful.
Yeah.
So we talked a lot about energy healing. We know now how you end up here. But I know there are a lot of people out there who have no idea what Reiki is, who have never heard about energy healing and maybe think it's something spooky and because they cannot see it. Like, you want to share a little bit more, like, how does it work? How do you work?
Yeah, okay. So, so many levels and layers to this. Well, let's start with Reiki. Reiki was rediscovered in the late 1800s by a beautiful soul named Dr. Mikao Yusui. And he channeled this divine energy, and what it means is Rei is universal and Ki is energy. And I truly believe, and science is proving this, that everything is made up of energy. So if everything is energy, we come from energy, we go back to energy, we are energetic beings, then we can work on an energy level to release things that have formed, like pain in the body, dis-ease, which is a show of a lack of flow or ease within the body. Yeah. And
beautiful breakdown.
Yeah.
Dis-ease.
And like the mental and emotional states of the mind and the body can all be healed because it is energy. So with Reiki, you are attuned, which means that a Reiki master teacher like myself or someone else channels a beautiful amounts of energy and uses symbols that have been passed down through all the hundreds of years to open the student up, to open you up as a channel for this energy to come through you. So then as you are attuned, so for example, we can all channel energy and light because we are energy and light. Maybe we channel 20%. If we've got a lot of baggage or kind of stuck, it can be less. If we are in flow and we feel inspired and connected with our soul, and then we're channeling more. So with Reiki, it really opens up the channel that more and more light can flow through. The light flows through the crown, down through the heart, out through the arms and out of the hands. And then that light flows to where it's directed. And Reiki is infinite wisdom. It holds information, wisdom, and energy, and it knows where to move. So it knows how to balance the body, the mind, the emotions, and the soul. And that's what it does. And as a Reiki healer, you are the witnessing how it's moving, where it's flowing, and how the person is coming back to balance. For me, because I'm psychic, so I use Reiki as a strong modality, but also I'm very gifted, so with a very open third eye, which we can all develop. And so I start to see things, and I'll receive messages, like I'll get words come through, and so I might know that the person, when they were 11 years old, went through a change in their life. For example, the father left the home, and that caused them to feel unstable, and so they've often had problems with their right knee. And so I will be working with the right knee, and I'll get the message of where it came from, and then I'll release it.
Okay.
And then we clear it out, release it out, do some moving of the energy. I use sound healing, I use visualizations. I also do like soul regression, generational healing, because we carry information and energy from our ancestors. So, that it's an important one to also release it, because when you release it from yourself, you release it from the generations to come. Yeah. So it like clears and paves the way.
So it's not just a saying that we can heal our whole family, our past family who's not even here on the earth with us anymore. We can heal that.
And it's amazing. So when I was doing a generational healing and the souls started coming through, then one of the souls who had passed away said and explained to me that by this particular client doing this healing on themselves, and the energies then going backwards up to the ancestors, I can't remember if it was a grandmother or grandfather, but they received this healing light, and it meant that they, because they were doing work on a soul level from a different dimension, and it meant that they didn't need to come back to earth school, and that they could then like ascend into a higher frequency, another higher dimension of energy, and come more and more into a state of pure love. So generational healing helps souls who have passed as well.
So beautiful. And I think we can talk a lot about it, but when you experience it, and we really have to experience like what is it doing with you at that kind of moment, it changes a lot. Yeah. Because for me, I never received energy healing or Reiki before. Yeah. So after my Reiki Level 1 course, I went to an assessment with you, and I cannot explain. It was just like entering this room, and it started directly. It was like, and Glenn did the same. So my husband Glenn did the same, and he also never thought about it, like how it will be. And you cannot explain it to people. It's not possible. It's just the feelings who are coming, the energies which are there, like how you feel after. It's just like, I mean, I remember Glenn, we were going home, he was laying into bed, and he was directly falling asleep till the next day because he was so done. Yeah. So there is, of course, something happening, even when you don't believe, right? Yes. Is it also working with people who don't believe in things like this?
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah, like I've had a skeptic when I was working on the yachts. A captain came to me, and he's like, "My finger hurts. Do that hocus pocus."
No way. I have now a man in front of my face with a hat like an old sea beer, like hat and the pipe here.
Oh, I love that.
I see him. Okay, so you did the hocus pocus.
So he let me have a minute. So I just
okay, 1 minute.
So I put my one hand around his finger, channeled the Reiki through. He's like, enough. I was like, okay. And then he went home to his family for the weekend. He came back on the Monday, and he's like, "Natalie, what have you done to me? It's gotten worse. It's gone up my arm." I'm like, oh, well, then in that case, you're having a healing crisis. You're having a strong release of energy, which is something that can happen. And this is positive when it starts to move. Otherwise, it's just stuck. Like it's going. And I was like, that's positive. And maybe you need to also go see a doctor, to have that other support, like to clear your mind, because you're a skeptic. And then he just laughed at me, and he said, "I'm joking. It's completely healed."
No way.
And he is a skeptic. He didn't believe it.
So whatever you are thinking out now, just try it out. So what are the possibilities for the people to work with you? I mean, we heard now it's possible online. So what can you do online? What are you offering to the people?
Oh, so many wonderful offerings. So,
I know, but it's good that they know too.
Reiki and Channeling. I do. So this is through time and space. So we meet online on a one-on-one, and I provide guidance. I can channel answers for you and send Reiki and bring you into a state of balance and harmony. Very powerful, heals body, mind, and soul. And then I have a lot of regular clients that I meet with, and we do some channeled guidance. They bring questions or things that they're working on, things that they want to release. Ancestral healing, the generational healing, to help to clear the energies for the generations to come and for yourself and those who have passed. And the group sessions, also soul regression. Soul regression because we've got past lives, especially many of us are old, wise souls, and we've had many experiences, and so I can regress and help to heal some past lives, but also to give you some insights into who you are and what you have been experiencing before. And then, so those are all the one-on-ones, and there are probably some more that I'm not thinking about, because there's so many different ones that have been created from spirit. I've just the vessel for spirit to come through. You come online, you meet me, and then I channel and I stay open to give you whatever it is that your soul is needing. And then I've got the group sessions, which are Sacred Circle, which is a meditation to increase the frequency, to connect with other high frequency beings, other souls. We come together. When you come and meditate in a group, powerful things happen.
Yes.
Like afterwards, people message me and say, I had pain in wherever I had it, my shoulder. After the meditation, completely gone. Or like I saw so many things, or these emotions came through me, and it's like so amazing.
Yeah. And what is special for me, that also works when you do a silent meditation online with a group. That's what we have experienced.
Yeah.
We did when there was the war starting in Ukraine. We just met with a few people online, and we just said we will sit in silence together to send the energy, the love and it was so interesting, because we just sat there all together like 30 minutes, and afterwards there were so many people like thanking, because they could release also something. They said they never did meditation before. They were just sitting there, and it healed them, and they felt that they could give something. And I think this is something very important, that we are also able to give.
Yes.
And it's possible to just sit together and be silent and give.
Yeah.
There is energy around too.
Definitely.
Because
silence is the yin, it's the feminine. And the yang is the masculine, the doing. And so it's so wonderful to drop into that absolute peace. That it's deeply healing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is. So beautiful. So at the end of my podcast, we coming a little bit to the end, I always ask my guests one question.
Yes.
So if you imagine you would have the possibility to press one button and send out a message to all the women around the world, what would that message be?
Oh, wow. I'm going to channel this one. I'm closing my eyes.
Okay.
May the light inside of you shine so bright that wherever you walk, all others in the same space as you are touched, that they see and feel your harmony and love, and reflect that harmony and love back to you. May you remember who you truly are in every moment. May you feel it from the depth of your heart. May you be as you are.
Oh, wow. Dear Natalie, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for this wonderful talk. I'm so happy that I could share you and your presence with all the people listening to this now, who will hear your voice, hear your message, hear who you are, and see where they will find you, because of course we will put everything from you in the show notes that people can connect, and I really hope that they will do, because it's really worth it. And I just want to say thank you so much for your being and for everything you gave me, to Glenn as well. It was really a pleasure and so beautiful that we have met you and our path has crossed.
Oh, thank you. So from my heart and my soul, it's been such a pleasure to be here in this space with you. You are such a beautiful soul.
Thank you. Same to you. Wow. Thank you so much, Natalie.